Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Falcons, the Men of North Catholic. And today I'm joined by
Chris Mullen Class of 1980.
Chris. How are you?
Good, John. How are you?
Good, good. Digging out of the snow?
Yeah. I hate it, but you got to do what you got to do, right?
I think they said another bout coming.
I know. I hate it. I'm too old for this stuff.
Tell me about it. So, ready to take a trip down memory lane?
Yeah.
So, sure we can all agree that North Catholic had some great teachers and oblates. Which teacher oblates would have stood out to you and why?
God, you don't want to leave anybody out, but Mr. Connie's class was great. Business law, that was always a great class. Had Father Hagen for a few things, and he was homeroom and stuff. He was a great guy. But Mr. Fitz for accounting, him and Chuck Knowles for IPS were the funniest guys in the world. I got two stories if you want to hear them about why they cracked me up, the funniest guys. I fell asleep in Mr. Fitz's class last period, and he had the whole classroom leave. All the guys get up and leave. He turned the lights off, closed the windows, and moved the clock to 5 o'clock, and then slammed the door. And I woke up, drooling. I was like, oh shit, I'm missing practice. We got the city championship. I can't miss practice. I go running out of the room, and they're all standing in the hallway laughing. And he goes, Mullen, you got jug? And I'm like, I can't go to jug if I miss practice. I can't play. He goes, all right, everybody get out of here. He takes me in his class. He says, wear my Jeff cap. And he put a bandana on me, and he gave me a big water pistol. And he said, go into the teacher's lounge and spray all the teachers with the water pistol, and you don't have jug. I said, well, they'll get me jug. He goes, you're going to jug no matter what. You might as well have some fun. So I said, all right. So we put the bandana on, and I go in the teacher's room, and I start spraying them all with the water pistol. Mr. Critello was sitting in a chair. I'll never forget it. I was spraying them, and they're all like, Mullen, what do you want, drugs? I said, no, Mr. Fitz made me do it. And they went, all right. They got a trash can, and they said, there's Mr. Fitz's locker. Pour that in his trash can, and we won't give you jug. So I pour all the trash in Mr. Fitz's locker, and then they don't give me jug. Next day I walk in class, Mr. Fitz goes, Mullen, you got jug.
You were in a no-win situation there.
Yeah, but none of them gave me jug. They were just having fun. And then, and then Mr. Knowles. Do you remember Chuck Knowles? He might have been gone by the time you got there, but he was hilarious. So he used to always read the paper, and he had 2 holes in it. And he said, that way I can see if you guys are cheating or not. And he'd have the paper. So this kid goes up and knocks on the paper. We got a report card. And he says, hey, Mr. Knowles, why did I get a 70? And what's this little 6 next to my name? How to let a little grid on the back of the report card, like missed assignments or, that kind of stuff. Tell you why you got a bad grade. So Mr. Knowles says, let me see, Jim. Oop, I said the kid's name. He says, let me see. And he says, oh, it means you're gay. And the whole class starts dying laughing. And the kid's walking back to his thing, and he gets all mad. And he goes back. Mr. Knowles reading the paper again. He knocks on the paper. He says, hey, Mr. Knowles, I ain't gay. And he goes, let me look at it again. He looks at his report card again. He goes, oh, you're gay with 2 weeks jug. The kid threw a little F note in there. That's why he gave him the 2 weeks jug. I didn't know if I could say that on your podcast.
Hey, it's a wide open forum, man. You know what I mean? I don't think any untold stories. Every story is worth being told on here. So yeah, nobody would understand. Good. I mean, you wouldn't be a North guy unless you told some kind of story like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sports and clubs at North. Which ones did you do?
I played soccer and basketball. 2 years varsity soccer, and we won the city championship both years. We only had 1 loss in the 2 years, so that was awesome. And then I played 3 years of varsity basketball, and that was awesome as well. But we came in just shy of getting to the Palestra. I said freshman year. I was actually at the game. North lost to Doherty at the Palestra, and I said to Mr. Fitz, I'm going to be down there next year. And he was like, yeah, okay, Mo. And then, I made varsity as a sophomore, me and Tommy Rymel. And I didn't play a lot. Tommy did as a sophomore, but I really we were 6-2 after 8 games, and our center got hurt and then suspended for something, and we went 2-6, and 8-8 we didn't make the palestra. And then the next year we were in a 3-way tie to get for 4th place. We beat McDevitt, and then we lost to LaSalle at Judge. Tommy Bonk hit a buzzer beater. They said we won. We were jumping up and down, and then the ref said no. The clock ran out, so I never got to play at the palestra, and that's one of my regrets. Wow. Yeah, I always wanted to play there.
So one of the questions I posed, I actually just got in interviewing Mike Borski this morning, and started talking about. I remember my times playing sports at North, the bus trips to and from, going to the games were always interesting, and guys goofing off. What do you remember about some of your guys' bus trips, or or in the locker room previous to going to games and whatnot?
Well, the basketball trips were, soccer, we just made our own way there. I mean, we only went from North to Lighthouse, and the other, I don't know why. Just right at school wasn't a lot of stuff, but Friday nights were pretty crazy with the basketball team. But JV soccer sophomore year, we were going to Virginia to play in a tournament, and we were going to stay at the other team's houses. They were going to put the kids up, and somebody was passing something across the aisle that wasn't exactly legal, and I wasn't partaking, but I passed it across to somebody, and the coach turned around and saw me with something and said, "Mullen, get up here. You're in big trouble." And I was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna get suspended or kicked off the team or whatever." And it was Mr. DiGregorio, was the JV coach, and we get to the place, and he says, "Hey, Mullen's punishment is the teams didn't have enough houses for us to stay, and somebody has to stay with the priest. So Mullen's punishment is he's going to have to stay with the priest this weekend while you guys all have fun with the other team." He said, and everybody's laughing at me, and he said, "But Mullen, we need 3 guys, so you get to pick 2 other guys to stay with you." I picked Jimmy Kane and Jimmy Hoove, and and they're like, "You asshole." I said, "Hey, if I'm going to do it, you're going to do it." So we go to the priest's house, and we sit down. There's a maid, and he says, "What do you guys want to eat?" We said, "Cheeseburgers, fries, and beer." And he goes, "Your parents let you drink beer?" We go, "Yeah, every night." Okay. So they put a 6-pack down on the table. We're drinking, having a burger and stuff. And then we go downstairs, and he's the coach of the other team, the opposing team, the priest. We go downstairs, there's a bar, pool table. We're shooting pool all night. And he's drinking, and he's like, "You guys can drink whatever you want," because he wanted us to be hungover for the game. So he went to bed. We drank every beer in the refrigerator that he had, and we left a note, "Sorry, Father," and $10 in the refrigerator. And we went the next day, and we beat them 7-0 anyway. Oh, but wow. the other guys on the team were like, "How was the priest's house? We went and got ice cream. We went to the movies." We're like, "We got shit faced."
That's classic.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Do you remember your first day at North Catholic? Do you remember walking through those doors the very first time as a freshman?
Yeah, I was scared to death because my brother Jeff graduated in '79, and he got suspended his second day for getting in a fight in a calf and got sent home. So I was like, "Where am I going?" Right? And somebody pulled his chair out from under him. Like, he had his food there. He went to get something to drink. Came back. Somebody else was sitting there, and he knew the kid from Ascension where I went. And he went, "Hey, Mike, I'm sitting there." And he went, "Oh, I'm sorry." And he pulled the chair. My brother fell. Everybody in the calf laughed. So he got up and punched the kid and got sent home. So I'm like, I was expecting something like that, with all the, and some of them guys seem huge when you're a freshman,
Yeah.
I was tall, but I was skinny. So, the first day is pretty nervous.
North Catholic's famous cafeteria food.
I never ordered. The only thing I always brought my sandwiches. My mom made my lunch, and ever hear of Charlie Chips? Big can.
I do. Delivered. Came in a tin can or something like that, right?
Yeah, big tin can and be delivered. My mom packed me a big bag of them with my sandwiches, and all the guys at my lunch table would eat them by the time I would get back from getting my drinks. So my mom made a second bag, One was for me and one was for the rest of the table. So every day I would come and I'd put a bag of chips on the table and leave mine alone. That was for you guys. And I think one day I got like the fillet of fish and fries or something like that on a Friday, but I always brought my own lunch. I bought 2 iced teas out of the 2 cartons iced teas out of the machine.
Oh, wow. So how do you think North Catholic guided you to where you are today?
I just think being honest and having integrity, I think, is the biggest thing that just taught you to do the right thing. You know, if you do, good things will happen. And I believe in karma. I think the priest taught you that. Just you have to have faith that doing the right thing is going to come back to you the right way. And you should just treat people, you know, nice and in a good way. And I've always been that way, and not just opening doors for people, all that kind of saying thank you and all, just trying to be a good person. I think that's what they instilled in you.
Somebody, your kids or grandkids or whatever, says to you, hey, what was it actually like to be a North Catholic? I mean, North Catholic's not around anymore. A lot of kids didn't get a chance to go. But what was it like to be a North Catholic Falcon, not only in school, but on the sports field as well?
We got off that bus from North Catholic Soccer. You could just see the other team go, oh shit. You know, and other guys, teams got off and, you know, they were lined up in their sweatsuits with their names on it, stuff like that. We'd get off with no shirts on, guys with tattoos. Some guys are smoking cigarettes and, you know, just looked like a bunch of bad news bears, you know. But when time came for the game, we just came together and just beat the crap out of everybody, and it was fun. And even to this day, I mean, we're buddies. Outside, we played ball with guys from Ryan, Doherty, and Judge and Wood, and you know, to this day, it's just we're like, you never beat us. Like, no matter what you say, we're gonna have beers and talk about this and that. You never beat us ever. So, you know, no matter what you say, we have the city championship jackets and watches and stuff. We can, you know, it's just awesome having it. And then the North Catholic thing, then sure, you know, we get 10 times more than any other school. All the little flower girls come too, because they feel, you know, they're our sisters. And I mean, literally, I mean, I had 9 sisters go to Little Flower, graduate from Little Flower. And, you know, it's just, I went to Hawaii with my wife. I went on a trip for work. And I went into this little Lahaina fishing village. And they said, there's no room downstairs. Do you mind going upstairs? We said, no. And there was a guy with a North Catholic, or I had a North Catholic hat on. And the guy went, is that North Catholic in Philly? I said, yeah. And he went, oh, I went to Wood.
Oh, wow.
And I get the hell out of here. And another guy went, I went to Egan. There was 3 families upstairs, and one went to Egan, one went to Wood. And it was Jimmy Buffett's Cheeseburger in Paradise in Lahaina and Maui. And there was 3 Catholic League people in there. And they, you know, that's why I wear the North stuff all the time, because it prompts a lot of conversations.
It sure does. As a matter of fact, one of the interviews I had a while back, I forget who the gentleman was, but he had mentioned that when he was in Vietnam, he actually ran into, I forget one of the priest's name, who was just happened to be a chaplain, and of all places in Vietnam. You know what I mean?
Sure.
While he was there, I can't remember exactly who it was, but yeah, he said of all people.
Well, I know Hagen did a lot of work overseas. It could have been him.
Yeah.
I don't know where exactly he went, but I know he did a bunch of, you know, stuff like that overseas, going to bring villages back that had no food and stuff like that. He's always did really good things.
I know, you know, when you play high school sports, it's the next level. But being a North Catholic Falcon and being a high school from the city, with official wise, you ever feel like you see a lot of times most teams are at a disadvantage for some reason? Everyone says they don't like the city kids,
right?
Do you guys ever feel you're at a disadvantage? Like, even though you guys were as strong as you were, do you feel like, I mean, like I said, the PIAA or whatever it was when you guys were playing, I mean, I guess it has to be as fair as possible, but you know, getting those calls against you, and when, you know what I mean?
No, I don't think anything. I never felt that way with the refs or anything like that. I mean, unfair would be I remember, the pit was so small, there was no 3-pointer when I played, but I mean, you were stepping out of bounds when you were in bounds when you're throwing the ball in. So our corner shot wasn't that far. And then you would go to LaSalle, and you couldn't. We airballed the first 5 shots at practice because it just seemed so far away.
Yeah.
And they probably shot better at our play. I mean, it looked like it playing on a tiny Lakes court going to the pit after playing at LaSalle's court and some of them other bigger schools. So I think that was always a little bit of a disadvantage. One funny story, we used to scrimmage Germantown Academy every year in soccer preseason, just steal a bunch of balls. So we had a lot of balls to practice with for the season. So whenever you went to the North, you'd see GA on the soccer balls. People would be like, "What's that?" We're like, nothing. But it was balls that we stole from Germantown Academy.
Do you remember any of your proms? Especially your senior prom?
No, I wasn't allowed to go because we were on reduced tuition. So if you're on reduced tuition, you can't get a ring or go to your prom. So I never went to any of that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't do my senior prom either. But it's there's a lot of people that didn't get an opportunity to do that.
Yeah. I don't even know if I would have went or not. Anyway, I think we got a case of beer, went up to the Coley playground and stood there and listened to the Spinners.
There was your prom for you.
Yeah.
What do you think your fondest memory at North Catholic would have been?
Just all the friends I made. I mean, I'm still really good friends with a bunch of guys I played ball with. I mean, we talk all the time still, and they were in my wedding. I was in their weddings. Our kids are friends. So I think it's just all the friendships that I made over the 4 years. I didn't have a choice going there. My dad graduated in 36. My brother Vince graduated in 69. He played on that JV team that played at the Palestra.
Okay.
And Jerry was 72 and Jeff was 79. So just all my brother-in-laws went there. About not all of them, but about 6 of them went to North Catholic. So it was it's inbred in our family, and that's all we talked about. Nobody ever went to Frankfurt or Mastbaum or anything like that.
And what parish did you wind up growing in the neighborhood?
I grew up in Kensington at G and Thayer, 800 block of Thayer Street, and I went to Ascension.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's a shame what they did with that, Bill. That's a mess over there now.
It was like I said, I have 9 sisters, all got married there, and it was a beautiful church. And they didn't have to go somewhere to take pictures because they would take the pictures right on the steps because it was such a place to do that. So shame. I see the pictures. It's really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's something for you. Do you remember? I was born down or raised in Port Richmond. I went to St. Albert's Parish on Allegheny Ave.
Yeah, I know it very well. Yeah.
Yep.
I lifeguarded Samuels 2 years of high school and 2 years of college in the summers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there was too many besides the McVeigh pool, right? I don't think there was any swimming pools up that area.
Galen didn't have theirs yet. McCauley didn't have theirs yet. McVeigh was the only one I ever swam at growing up. And then I guess Samuels. That was there because my father-in-law used to go there when he was younger. I remember my wife telling stories. So Samuels had been there a long time.
So why did you choose? Oh, you said because it was a feeder school, but did you have other options? Would you, if you had another option to choose any other schools, why would it have been North Catholic?
Like I said, my dad went there. My older brothers, all my sisters went to Little Flower. There was not even a thought of going anywhere else. I mean, that was it. There was never even a thought. I didn't have open enrollment there, so I would have never left anyway. When I could just hop on the L, go 2 stops. Actually, in the summers we'd walk a lot and keep the token money.
Now get that ice cream, right? You guys had the ice cream machine still, I'm assuming, in the cafeteria?
I don't know. Like I said, I never bought in the caf. I always took my lunch. So I don't know if was there an ice cream machine?
Listen, I know that during my era they would have put stuff in it, the guys, but Yeah, guys are saying there was ice cream machines there, and I'm like, damn, I wish we would have had that.
I didn't remember that, but you asked me if I joined any clubs, and I never got to that one. Me and Jimmy Hunt, he was a football player our year, and Jimmy Hooven, just as a goof, we said, hey, let's run for office next year. We don't see too many athletes doing that. And we flipped the coin, and Jimmy Hunt lost, so he had to run for president. And me and Hoove went for 2 of the vice president spots, and we all ended up winning. And it was actually, I was in charge of academics. I'm sorry, geez, all the intramurals and the movie night, and all the fun stuff like that. Who was in charge of finances, and then Jimmy Hunt was the president, and we had a ball with it. We actually thought we instituted a couple of good things and tried to make it fun for the class. But that was something I was glad I always did. I wasn't as involved as Jimmy because there was a lot of early morning things, and the Mullens are not morning people. I think I missed quite a few of the morning meetings, but it was fun nonetheless.
Do you remember the prayer for the class, the direction of intention? Do you remember that?
Say it again, John.
The direction of intention. Do you remember the prayer, the class prayer?
I do not. Sorry.
Nah, that's cool. So 2009 comes along. We get the announcement that North Catholic's going to close its doors for good. No longer a rumor. It's happening. You get that message. I'm sure that you left a lot behind, playing sports, student government. What goes through your mind?
I didn't think it was going to happen. I just figured with our strong alumni, something would come about where there's a lot of rich guys that are alumni. Somebody would pull through and save the day, at least for a year or two. I thought the alumni would raise money and save it for a while. And we were all hoping that Little Flower and North would merge, and that would save both of them. Little Flower's still good, but I was hoping that those two would merge and it would save it. But I think they got a good offer for the building, and that was that.
Yeah, I was. I had my interview. I'm sorry.
I said it's sad. It's
yeah.
I just saw them knock the Priest House down a couple of weeks ago on TV, or I don't know if it was on computer or TV, but they knocked the Priest House down about a month or so ago. Did you see that?
Yeah, when I was in the beginning stages of this, one of my preamps to the video was going to be I was going to do a shoot outside the school, and I saw it was just completely bare, and I was like, wow.
Yeah. The actually academy who has it, I can't remember the name, but they let us have an alumni basketball game at the pit a couple of years after they took over, and I went to the game. I didn't play, just went to check it out, and really weird.
Lost your video. Oh. Lost Mike, lost Chris altogether. We'll stand by, and hopefully he joins back in.
Sorry, John.
All right, you got Jug. That's it.
Yeah, my wife called, and she always calls at the wrong time, and I lost you.
No problem. I forget where I was at.
You were going to do a picture of the school at one of your pre-things.
So we were also I got permission to actually use the school's auditorium or whatever to conduct these interviews and stuff. And I figured with the COVID and everything, I said, once I figured out how to use this, I said, might as well just stick with this. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's pretty cool. What made you come up with this idea? It's really cool.
Just watching YouTube on New Year's Eve. Wife was in Florida, and started going through some North Catholic sports, this and that. And I was like, you know what? There's no stories, like no memories of the school, the good times, the teachers, the friends. Like it just wasn't there, and it has to be told.
Yeah, I just wish it was there to take. I have 3 girls and a boy, and I just my son played basketball, and I wish I could have taken him to the pit to see some games. He would have loved it, and I mean, our Washington Township has beautiful basketball courts that he's played on and stuff. And the soccer fields that him and my three daughters played on are, so much nicer than Scanlon and McVeigh and Lighthouse. They wouldn't imagine or Newts, playing on the Cinder and stuff like that. So I would have loved to taking the kids to the pit for a couple basketball games. I got them to the Palestra a couple of times, but I never got them to the pit.
Yeah, a lot of things I brought up about, the pit was like how noisy it was, and hearing from a coach's perspective of how loud it was and the players, it's crazy, man. And it had to be the loudest gym in the Catholic League.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I was just talking, somebody posted something about the 68 team, Joe Rabbi, last week, and posted a picture of my brother Vince and Tommy Rimel's brother, Joe. And we were all talking and said, what's scary about it is my brother Vince came to a game when I played at North, and he got out 11 years ahead of me. And he said, Chris, they're the same uniforms I wore.
Oh, wow.
They hadn't got new uniforms in the 11 years. And you didn't get your own uniform to take home. They washed it for you. And it was only 3 pairs of pants that fit us guys. So I remember us rushing when they brought the uniforms in to get the good pair of pants that fit, because there was only 3 that really fit, everybody our size. And the rest were those little short shorts, Jimmy Connor tennis shorts that were way too small.
Oh, wow. Ball huggers.
Yep. So it's just, you can't explain that to your kids that a school that big would not have the right uniforms and stuff for you. It's funny. Yeah. Actually, George Crosley then responded to my email, and he said, one year somebody robbed the place at North and stole all the away uniforms, or a bunch of away uniforms. So they had 12 guys suit up for home games, but they only had 6 guys suit up for away games because they only had 6 uniforms.
Wow. That's crazy.
Don't go buy 6 new ones. Just don't play 6 guys.
Yeah. Well, you see, there's a basketball warm up that I got a 3/4 zip that I'm going around, and I'm going to have everybody who participates in the video sign, and we're going to auction it off. We're going to sell chances for it. It's going to be put in a nice frame, and a little plaque at the bottom. It's going to read, the same as the documentary, Falcons, Men of North Catholic. So maybe we can meet up sometime. There's no rush, but get your signature on there.
We'll bring it down to Keenan's this summer. Hopefully that'll happen with COVID, and a lot of the guys, you can get a lot of guys in one stop.
Well, that's where we're hoping on auctioning that. So it's going to be, like I said, I'm going to have it in a frame. So have something real nice.
I go to Philly all the time, so I got your number now. We can always hook up.
Yeah. Absolutely. So with this hard times, everything closed, and still, I guess, somewhat of a quarantine. Do you have anything you want to say to everybody, all the guys that you went to school with?
Great to see you guys. I saw Rusty Bono and Dickie Wild's videos, and Lenny Keltz. They're the only ones I've seen so far, but I think it's a great thing you're doing, John, and hopefully I see more familiar faces and hear some great stories.
I appreciate it. So
thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem, man. Just to take me a few minutes to get this up and going, and I'll forward it to you. So appreciate it, man. Thanks for joining in.
All right, have a great weekend.
You too.
See you.